David Reeves stood at the front desk of the beachside gym, a hopeful grin on his face as he asked to join his wife's membership.
Of course. Let me pull up the account. Linda Reeves. Here's the couple's pass. It's listed for Linda and Brandon.
Brandon. There is no Brandon in our lives.
The clerk's innocent face showed confusion, but David's turned to stone as the name hung in the air.
I am sorry. Are you Brandon? Or is there some mistake on the account?
Number. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just come back another time.
He turned on his heel and walked out, the glass doors swinging shut behind a man who suddenly felt 64 years of trusting the wrong woman.
Who is Brandon, and how long has she been lying?
He didn't look back. The seed of doubt was planted, and it had already grown thorns. On the gym's system, the membership card still glowed. Couples pass. Linda Reeves and Brandon Voss. In the driver's seat, David's knuckles went white around the steering wheel. The gym's logo blurred behind the windshield.
Brandon, a name I've never heard. A man she never mentioned.
The word hung in the car like smoke. He forced himself to breathe, to think past the spike of betrayal.
If I storm back in there, I'll lose any advantage. I need to find out everything first.
A tremor ran through his jaw, then stilled. He wiped his eyes dry with a deliberate, almost mechanical motion.
Number. Not yet. She won't see this coming.
He started the car. The engine cut through the silence like a verdict.
Tonight, I'll go through every joint account. Every penny she spent on him.
As he pulled onto the coastal road, the gym faded in the mirror. A new man was driving home. At home, David walked straight to his office. He didn't let his eyes linger on the wedding photos in the hall. He sat down and logged into their joint account. His hands were cold, but they didn't shake. The transactions loaded, and there it was, a line item that stole his breath.
A couple's gym pass. 8 months of payments, and the second name was never mine.
Next entry, Honda Financial 412.15. Monthly auto payment, active for 7 months.
We don't own a Honda. She's been making car payments for someone else.
And a third recurring charge. Safekeep Storage, Unit 47, $215 every month.
A storage unit, paid for with our retirement savings, and I never knew it existed.
He selected all the incriminating entries and hit print. The machine came alive, spitting out page after page. David gathered the warm sheets, his jaw set. The paper trail was now a weapon. The address on the statement led him to a storage facility on the quiet edge of town, behind a chain-link fence.
8 months of payments. What secret is worth hiding from me?
Unit 47 sat at the far end. The padlock was shiny, new, no sign of wear.
That lock hasn't been there long. She's been coming here regularly.
He pulled the bolt cutters from his trunk. The handles were cold and heavy, solid in his grip.
Time to find out the truth.
He fit the cutters around the shackle and leaned in. The metal groaned, then surrendered with a crack. The severed lock dropped to the ground, its job done. The unit door was free. He placed his palm flat on the cold metal, breath held. The final curtain was about to rise.
No more hiding. Whatever's in there, it's mine to uncover.
The door rolled up with a hollow rasp. Inside, the air was thick with cardboard and dust. Stacked boxes lined the walls. Labels read living room, bedroom, kitchen, the guts of a home, packed and waiting.
This isn't just an affair. She's been building a whole new life.
He nudged a box aside. A rolled-up rug leaned in the corner, still in plastic wrap. A manila envelope had fallen between the boxes. He bent and retrieved it, the paper heavy, signed by Linda Reeves. A lease for a beachside apartment, the address already circled.
She planned to leave me, to move into that place with him.
His hand didn't tremble as he slipped the lease into his jacket. It was evidence now. He left the unit exactly as he'd found it, save for the broken lock and the missing truth. Outside, the sun hung low. David started the car and pulled onto the coastal highway, a new destination forming. He parked a block away from the address on the lease. The building was modest, with palms flanking the entrance.
The neighbor's casual greeting. You must be the husband. They've been moving boxes all week.
His eyes landed on the parking lot. A silver sedan sat under a palm, a gym sticker on the rear bumper.
That's Linda's car. The same one she drives to the gym. The same one she paid for with our money.
He pulled out his phone and snapped a photo. The license plate, the building, the undeniable proof.
That's enough. She'll see this in court.
He slipped the phone away and walked back to his car, the apartment door untouched. As he drove away, the sky turned amber. The betrayal now had a physical address.
Now I have everything I need. She won't see the storm until it hits.
That night, he laid the evidence on his desk. Tomorrow, the real countermove would begin. The next morning, David sat at his desk before sunrise. A new question had wormed into his mind. Had she already lawyered up? He pulled up the digital phone records, scrolling past the usual calls, a number repeated 8 times in 3 weeks.
8 calls to the same number. Every time I was out of the house.
He typed the number into a search engine. The result loaded. Harrington and Wells, Family Law and Divorce. The firm's website showed a confident partner with a practiced smile. David felt his stomach drop.
She's not just leaving. She's planning to take me for everything.
His hands gripped the armrests. The betrayal had an endgame, and he was meant to be the loser.
I need a lawyer. Not next week, today.
He turned off the monitor and sat in the dark, a new plan crystallizing. She'd started this war. He would finish it. That morning, David walked into the sleek offices of a family law firm. Inside, a seasoned attorney listened as David laid out the evidence, the pass, the lease, the calls. The lawyer reviewed it all, then leaned back with a quiet authority. He told David that as a joint account holder, he had the legal right to freeze every shared asset immediately.
Freeze them. Before she can touch a single dollar.
David's gaze shifted from shock to cold resolve. The balance of power had just tilted his way.
I can file first. I can protect what's mine. She won't see it coming.
He took the attorney's business card and shook hands, his grip firm and final.
Thank you. I'll be in touch very soon.
As he left the office, a new kind of calm settled over him. The deceived husband had become the quiet architect of his revenge. That evening, David took a position across from the gym, his headlights off, engine still. Linda's silver sedan pulled into the lot. When the doors opened, a younger man stepped out beside her. They walked toward the entrance, her hand resting on his arm. Laughter spilled into the evening air. At the door, Brandon paused and leaned in. The kiss was brief and familiar. David's stomach turned to ice.
So this is Brandon. She looks at him like she never looked at me.
They disappeared inside. David's knuckles whitened on the wheel, but he didn't start the car.
You have no idea what's coming.
He let the rage wash through him, then let it go. Tomorrow, the accounts would freeze.
By this time tomorrow, she'll realize she gambled everything and lost.
He started the engine and drove home in silence, the first night of a new, calculated war. At home, he lay awake in the dark, the blueprint of tomorrow's strike looping in his head until dawn. The next morning, David sat at his desk as sunlight crept across the floor. The laptop glowed, waiting for his final command. He logged into their joint bank portal. The cursor hovered over the freeze option, a single click away from detonating her world. A red banner appeared. Account frozen. All checking and savings assets are now locked.
Done. She won't withdraw a single cent for her new life.
He picked up his phone and dialed his attorney. The line connected after one ring.
File the ex parte motion now. I want it stamped this morning.
He hung up and called a 24-hour locksmith, ordering new deadbolts for every exterior door. The house would soon be his alone. He pictured the new locks that would seal her out, the finality of it like a physical weight lifting. He opened a drawer and removed the spare house key, laying it on the desk. Tonight, it would be useless. David leaned back in his chair, the architect of a silent earthquake. The trap was set, and Linda was still dancing. The locksmith arrived before noon, his van idling in the driveway as David gathered empty boxes from the garage. In the bedroom closet, he methodically folded Linda's sweaters, the scent of her perfume still trapped in the fabric.
Everything she left behind is evidence of a life she was ready to abandon.
He cleared the bathroom counter, her hairbrush, lotions, the half-empty shampoo bottle she'd never finish here. From the living room shelf, he pulled her collection of hardcovers, each title a memory he was erasing. He lifted their wedding photo from the mantel, stared at it for a long moment, then laid it face down in the box.
This was over long before the gym pass. I just didn't see it.
The packing tape screeched as he sealed each box, his movements efficient and ruthless. Through the window, the locksmith worked on the front door, the drill whining in the afternoon heat. David stacked the boxes by the front door, a silent eviction. The house felt like his again. At the kitchen counter, David uncapped a pen. The words came cold and final. I know about Brandon. The locks are changed. Your accounts are frozen. Your things are on the porch. David, he folded the paper and taped it to the top box, his wedding ring catching the last rays of sun.
That's the last word I'll ever give her.
The locksmith handed him the new keys, and David paid him in cash. No receipt needed. Before leaving, he took one last look at the house. It was no longer theirs. He got into his car and pulled out of the driveway without a backward glance. The note remained on the box, the silent warning that would deliver the final blow.
She'll be here soon, and then she'll know.
David drove into the fading light, a man who had finally taken back control. Down the coast, he traded his car for a plain rental sedan at a lot that asked no questions. Cash only. He checked into a roadside motel under a name that wasn't his own, a room paid for with folded bills.
Turn the phone off. No one tracks me tonight.
As night fell, he drove back to his own street and parked 4 houses away, beneath the shadow of a palm. The house sat still, porch light on, the stacked boxes exactly as he'd left them. He twisted the cap off a gas station coffee and settled into the seat. The wait began.
She'll come back soon, and she won't be alone.
The street quieted. A distant dog barked. Streetlights flickered on. David sat in the dark, a patient observer, his anger distilled into cold focus. The hunter was invisible now, watching the stage where the final act would unfold. The hours crawled. Crickets filled the silence. David's hands remained still on his lap, the coffee long cold.
30 years. The anniversary at the shore, her hand in mine. Was any of it real?
He shook his head, clearing the ghost. The man he was this morning would not hesitate. At the far end of the street, twin beams swept the hedges. A car turned a corner.
That's her.
The silver sedan glided closer, slowing, then turned into his driveway with a low purr. Through the tint, he could see 2 figures, Linda's silhouette, and beside her, Brandon.
She brought him here, to our home.
The engine cut. The headlights died. For a moment, silence reclaimed the street. David leaned back, his breath shallow. The moment he'd crafted was here. The car doors opened. Linda's laugh carried across the lawn as she swung her purse over her shoulder. Brandon stayed by the car, retrieving a gym bag.
Home, sweet home. I need a hot shower.
She slid the key in and turned. Nothing. The lock held firm, as foreign as the life she'd been building.
What? That's odd. It won't turn.
She pulled it out, blew on it, and tried again. The key refused, as if the door itself had turned against her.
Let me try. Maybe it's just stuck.
Brandon pushed and twisted, his confidence draining with every failed attempt. The lock didn't budge. Linda's gaze drifted to the porch. 3 neatly stacked boxes sat in the shadows, a white envelope taped to the top.
David.
The name fell from her lips like a verdict. Beside her, Brandon went still, the gym bag slipping from his shoulder. She tore the envelope open, her fingers clumsy and desperate, the note fluttering in the night air.
I know about Brandon. The locks are changed. Your accounts are frozen. Your things are on the porch.
She dropped the note as if it burned her, and Brandon snatched it from the porch. He scanned the lines, his face twisting from confusion to rage. Then he kicked the nearest box, the sound like a gunshot. Linda sank onto the step, her phone already out, fingers shaking as she dialed. A framed photo slipped from the box and cracked on the concrete.
Get him on the phone, Linda. Now.
I can't. It's voicemail. He's blocked me. I can't reach him.
The reality crashed down. They were locked out, broke, and exposed. Linda sobbed into her hands, while Brandon paced like a caged animal.
He watched them crumble and felt only a hollow stillness. The weight of 30 years had finally lifted.
Linda's phone screen lit up with 6 failed calls, each one a dead end. She red-dialed, hands shaking.
Pick up. David, please.
This is your fault. You swore he'd never find out.
I didn't think he'd check the gym records. Everything was under a separate email.
Well, he did. And now we're broke and locked out.
From the rental car, David watched their silhouettes argue under the harsh porch light, voices carrying on the night air.
They're tearing each other apart, and I feel nothing.
He turned the ignition. The engine purred to life, headlights still off. He glanced once more at the fractured scene. Without a sound, he glided away from the curb, leaving the chaos behind, the rented tires rolling softly into the dark.
He didn't check the rearview mirror. There was nothing left to see.
He drove without destination, the coastal highway winding ahead under a fading moon. The rental car ate the empty miles.
I need to see the ocean. I need to breathe salt air again.
He pulled into a deserted overlook, gravel crunching under the tires and killed the engine. The sound of waves crashing against the rocks filled the silence. He stepped out into the cold, clean air.
It's over. She has nothing left of me.
He walked to the edge, the wind tugging at his jacket, and for the first time in days, he let his shoulders drop. The tension unwound from his spine, coil by coil. He was no longer a man defined by betrayal.
I did what I had to do, and I am still here.
As the first light of dawn crept across the sky, a small, unguarded smile flickered on his face. He stood there until the sun fully rose, a man no longer owned by the past. The first day of his new life had begun. David drove back into town and pulled up to a modest studio apartment building, a palm tree swaying by the entrance. He carried a single cardboard box up the stairs, its weight light, only the essentials he had chosen to keep. Inside, the studio was bare but flooded with sunlight. He set the box on the counter and opened it, revealing a few books, a coffee maker, and a framed photo.
Mom's photo goes on the nightstand. The coffee maker by the window.
He wiped the glass of the frame gently, setting it down with care. The face of his mother smiled out from the sunlit room. He pulled off his jacket, and a crumpled card fluttered to the floor. The gym pass, with 2 names printed beneath the logo.
Linda and Brandon. This piece of paper started it all.
He bent, scooped it up, and without a flicker of hesitation, tossed it into the kitchen bin.
It's just trash now, like the life I left behind.
He looked around the clean, quiet room, the morning light his only witness, and nodded once. This was his. Later that morning, Linda stood at the teller window of a local bank, her face pale. Brandon loomed behind her, arms crossed.
What do you mean, frozen? I need to access my accounts right now.
The teller spoke in a low, professional tone. The accounts were under a court-ordered freeze pending divorce litigation. She fumbled for her phone and opened the banking app. The screen displayed a red banner, account frozen.
He really did it. He locked me out of everything.
Brandon stepped closer, his posture rigid with frustration. His voice came out sharp.
Great. Now I am stuck in this mess. I should have never trusted you.
Linda whirled on him, her eyes wild with a fury that had no other target.
You wanted this life too. You pushed for the apartment, the gym pass, the whole fantasy.
Their voices echoed in the hush of the lobby. The doors slid shut behind them as they walked out, the freeze holding fast. David set out for a morning run, the sand cool under his feet. The rhythm of the waves matched his easy breath. His path took him past the gym. The glass doors reflected the early light, but he didn't glance its way. His eyes stayed on the horizon, where the sea met the sky. The place that had started it all was just glass and concrete now. A buzz from his phone interrupted the steady cadence. He slowed, pulling it from his armband. The subject line read, "Divorce finalized." A single sentence from his attorney followed. "It's over."
It's done. Truly done.
He stood still on the sand, reading the words once, then exhaled a breath he hadn't known he was holding. Then he tucked the phone away and began to run again, the weight of the past evaporating with every stride.
Free at last. No ties, no lies.
The ocean stretched before him, infinite and open, just like the life ahead. He was no longer a man defined by betrayal. As the sun dipped low, David settled onto a wooden beach bench, the day's warmth still radiating from the sand.
This is what it feels like to be whole again.
He pulled out his phone, the screen glowing in the golden light. The contact list opened with a name he no longer needed.
Delete. Like she never existed.
He watched the confirmation flash, then faded away. The phone slid back into his pocket. The horizon glowed orange and pink, the waves a steady lullaby. No bitterness remained, only an earned, quiet peace. He leaned back, closed his eyes, and let the salt breeze wash over him. The world was quiet, and so was he. When he opened them again, a faint, genuine smile lingered. Not triumph, not relief, just simple, quiet joy. Somewhere far away, Linda was still fighting battles he had already won. But he wasn't thinking about her. He was thinking about tomorrow, and for the first time in years, he was genuinely looking forward to it.